there, so I'm going to go ahead and start the roasted pork tenderloin. I did wash my hands before this video. I actually went ahead and put the marinade in this bowl since it was only just the salt, ground black pepper, garlic powder, and olive oil. I went ahead and threw it in this bowl. Just kind of mixed it up, and then I'm going to set this to the side for the marinade. So next, I'm going to go ahead and take the pork tenderloin and look for the silver skin, and I'm going to use my paring knife to kind of take it off. So I'm going to try to make a fold like I watched in the video. Let's see. Okay. Alright, and then I'm just going to kind of pull and cut it off. There we go, that's a good piece. Alright, this one's making it a little more clear to see where the skin fold is. Okay, so now that I got all the silver skin off, I'm going to go ahead and place it in this. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to take my gloves off. Actually, I'm going to leave them on. And I'm going to go ahead and put the marinade on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here to make it easier. That way it's ready when it's done. All that out. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and toss it around a little bit just to make sure the marinade coats it. Perfect. And then any that's left in the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and drizzle on the top when it's ready. Take my gloves off. Alright, and so I'm going to let this marinate for about, let's say, 2 hours, and then I'll take it out and pop it in the oven. Okay, so it has been 2 hours. So I went ahead and put the pork tenderloin in its marinade in the oven, and I'm going to check back in about 25 to 30 minutes. Oh, and it's on 350. So now I'm going to make the espagnole for my pork tenderloin. I went ahead and sauteed the mirepoix. Sauteed them, not browned, which is the celery, carrot, and onion. So I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. Okay. And I'm just going to mix that in like a roux, just to coat it with all of the butter and mirepoix. And so I'm going to want to bring this to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on high. I'm going to add the brown stock with the tomato puree, so I'll go ahead and put it in the stock. Okay. Just add a little more. Okay, so I had to add a little more because it wouldn't all fit earlier. Go ahead and dump that in. Get the tomato puree in there. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, bring this to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, then I'm going to change it to a simmer. Alright. So once it comes to a boil, I'll simmer it for about 30 minutes and then check back in on it. Okay, so while I'm letting that come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and get the sachet ready for when it's time to simmer. So I already have the thyme, the black peppercorn, the parsley stems, and the bay leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this. I'm gonna tie it around there one more time. Okay, and now I have the sachet, so I'm gonna go ahead and place this in here and continue to wait for this to come to a boil. Okay, so next I'm gonna make the Greek orzo. So I already have the olive oil on like a medium heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the chopped onion and garlic. Go ahead and add the 4th teaspoon of salt as well. And I'm gonna stir this and let it soften for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so now that it's been 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add the oregano. I'm going to add the dill. I'm also going to add some pepper. Okay, stir this up. It smells amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the orzo. So I'm going to go ahead and stir it to get all of the oil and herbs on the orzo before moving on. Okay, so I actually had to switch pots because I forgot we still had to put the vegetable broth or chicken broth in here. So anyway, now that it's bigger, I'm going to go ahead and zest the lemon. Okay, that looks like plenty of lemon. So I'm going to go ahead and stir the lemon zest in there. And now I'm going to add the broth, which is 2.5 cups. All right, and I'm just going to bring this to a simmer. Okay, and we'll let this simmer for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes and my espanol sauce is done, so I'm going to go ahead and put it through the strainer. Okay, and the mirepoix and sachet will dump out. Okay. Perfect. Now I have my sauce, so I'm going to keep this to the side until the pork tenderloin's done. Okay, so I ended up cooking the pork tenderloin for about 30 minutes, 25 it was still kind of pink, and 30 minutes it still kind of was too, so I did put it in for like an extra 5 minutes. Maybe it's just my oven. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I already cut it in half. So I'm going to take one to the side. Okay. I'm going to slice them. I don't want them too thin or too thick. Looks good. Okay, about 5 slices. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of my gloves off. Alright, and now over here I have the orzo, so I'm going to go ahead and plate that up. Put it in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the meat and do like a domino effect. Okay, gloves off. Okay, I'm gonna take the espagnole sauce. I'm just gonna drizzle it over the top. Okay, and I'm actually gonna add a little bit of dill just as a topping, since it did go in the sauce. Okay. And grab this, kind of clean up the plate. Okay, and I'll get a close-up view of my plate. Alright, so here is my finished product of the pork tenderloin, the orzo, and the espagnole sauce.